In this video, we're going to go over the basic steps on how to use the tools that Zoom have to offer in order to create a production. The biggest thing you're going to have to keep in mind with this is that you need to arrange this so that it looks correct to the director, who then later on will turn into the broadcasting computer that actually broadcasts this production out to the internet. So what I mean by saying that is that the layout of the screen, like you're seeing right here, isn't always going to look correct to individual actors as opposed to how it looks to the director. So you'll see examples like this later in the video. Things like if you're looking a certain direction to try to look at somebody else's screen or look into each other's eyes sort of thing, you're going to have on your screen, it might look like you're looking in the opposite direction per se, but it doesn't matter what your screen looks like. All that matters is what the director's screen looks like, and ultimately the broadcast computer's screen looks like. So we have some cameras up here as an example. You're going to notice that as this is kind of shifting around, anybody that's new to this group is automatically put at the farthest right and closest to the bottom. So you'll notice that Weston turned this camera off and turned it back on, and now he went from being up in this corner to being down in this corner because he is ultimately the most recent person to turn on his camera. So another example to show that the newest person always turns on to the right of the image of the original person. I'll show this here now. Weston's going to turn on cameras. He has 3 laptops sequentially set up in his home office. So now he's going to turn on the middle one, which turns on to the right. So you'll see it'll reach across like that. And then he's going to turn on his furthest camera, which again pops up on the right hand side. So you'll go 3 wide like this, and he shuffles across, and it'll show that the newest, most recent camera pops up over here all the way on the right. So now we'll add on a 4th camera, and it'll show you that it'll pop up on the bottom right hand corner, and this will go in kind of a quad arrangement. Yeah. So then you go to 4 wide, then you have, then your most recent one pops up in the bottom right hand corner. Again, going along with the idea that to an actor or a performer, this is not going to look correct probably 99% of the time on your home's computer screen, is because you'll notice that when you're on a Zoom meeting, your video feed always shows up to you being in the top left hand or the furthest left screen in this sort of grid layout. So by design standards, you can't shift around in that grid because you're always going to be in the same spot. Mention is that in the sense of layouts, as far as that's concerned, if you're recording from your home or if you're directing the show, more importantly, you're going to want to make sure that your Zoom window is maximized so that it can give the exact same layout every single time that it's open. If you have it in what's called a windowed mode, so just let me show you here real quick. If you have it in a mode like that, where it's not maximized and you can move it around, then your layout might not look correct, as in you might have people on the top and a bottom as opposed to a left and a right because your window is smaller. But as long as you have it maximized like that, then it'll always show up in the correct layout, or at least it should. So now we're going to give an example of 2 actors being able to interact with each other using this Zoom type format. So you'll see here that, Weston is on the left, Ashley is on the right. If I hit play, So what happened there is that they had two different, because of the way their view was set up, they couldn't know who was on what side. So, for instance, to Ashley's view, she would have to reach out this way in order to reach Weston, but that is not correct to my view, and my view is the view that matters, because my view is the view that's going out to the world or to the audience. So that's really, I can't reiterate that enough. It's going to be the hardest, probably the hardest thing in this process, is trusting that as long as you turn your cameras on and off in the same order that you assign it in blocking, and it looks correct to the director, then it's correct. That doesn't mean at all that it's going to look correct to you on your home screen. So oftentimes you might have to look at somebody this way when on your end, they're actually over here. So that's going to take some getting used to. So these two are interacting like that. They can actually reach out and kind of do a pseudo high five here using the layout of their windows. So a way to map that out, in a sense that your room doesn't change, but your camera position does, and it doesn't look right to you, but the room around you does not change. So you know, in certain scenes, I need to look this direction because my person that I'm talking to is going to be on this side of me, according to the primary director's broadcast whatever screen, or according to the audience, let's say. So I need to look this direction in order to look at the right person, in order for it to look right to the audience. Now, the most convenient way that a lot of people have come up with to actually have directions and markers in your room or your space is to just get sticky notes and just post them around your room. So as you block, say if you want to look directly this way, or you want to have kind of a 45-degree angle, you can put a sticky note over here or over there, indicating either, there's a couple of different ways to do it. You can either indicate your scene, so in Act 2, Scene 3, I need to look this way, this is my marker for that act. Or you can say, oh, this location here is location A for me. And then you can indicate either in your script or what have you, or in notes, that in this scene, I need to be looking here. I'm just looking at my stapler. But I need to be looking here in order for me to line up in a way that works with the other screens that are on there. So I would essentially take a post-it note, write A on it, and then stick it over here where my stapler is. And then every time I need it, I would have it indicated in my either script or notes or whatever that anytime I needed to look at A, I would just write A next to it, and then I would look at sticky note A or sticky note B or C or whatever. So as an example of that, I've essentially told Weston he's going to look at sticky note A, which directs him to look at Ash, which is to me to his left, but to him it's his right. And then he looks over there, and now he's looking at Ash. Unlike on stage, in order to look at other actors that are interacting with you, you need to make it seem like you're kind of looking at each other without actually being able to see each other. So that's going to be the hardest thing in this, I think, is actually trusting that when you look to the right, you're looking at who you want to be looking at, even if on your screen it doesn't look correct. So I hope that covered the points I needed to cover in blocking specifically with this. Go ahead, like I said in the other videos, go ahead and reach out to me if you have any other questions. Thank you.